Alright, we're back everybody, welcome. So off rip, I want to go ahead and say that this video is going to be very different than what I'm used to. So pardon the mistakes that you might see or anything that I might forget to add later. I mean, the topic that I want to dive into today is so... like, it has so much depth, I legit had to write a whole script just to keep on point. So originally, I was going to talk about subs versus dubs, but that's such an oversaturated topic, especially on YouTube. And I mean, I wouldn't really be adding anything new to the conversation, so I decided to just pass on that. Given how long the whole argument has been a thing too, it's like, you already heard all the arguments. Oh, why subs are better, why people watch dubs anyway, and why really it doesn't matter what other people do and how they watch their shows. As somebody who watches anime subbed and dubbed, I do get both sides, but subs are better, there's no doubt about it.
Let me tell you something, I
mean, forget what your or my stance is on the matter. I want to talk a little deeper about an issue that I haven't seen anyone really bring up about dubbed anime. Why, for the most part, why is it still so mid? So, I mean, obviously not all dubs are bad, but a good amount of them just really do a poor job compared to the Japanese voice actors to a point where many can't stand watching. I don't want to say the voice actors do a bad job necessarily, but it's just nearly not as convincing as Japanese voice actors. To be fair, the shows are made in Japan, so they do have an edge on that, obviously. What I really want to do with this video is to give a perspective from a sub watcher's point of view on what matters when investing myself in anime. I mean, this can apply to shows in general and point out good practices that should be done more. I guarantee some of y'all gonna have the argument of, oh, who says they're on bad Japanese voice actors? Or you wouldn't even know what a bad Japanese voice actor sounds like because you don't speak the language. Or some shit like, oh, you're just digging at it because they Japanese. I understand what y'all saying, but first off, bad voice acting is bad voice acting. Whether if you're under or overselling a character, then yeah, the language barrier can mask that a little bit, but I mean, anybody with good ears would tell that you're not doing a good job. Secondly, there are bad Japanese voice actors, but way less than English voice actors, for anime specifically. The bad Japanese voice actors that I've noticed are from shows, say, that are as shitty as the voice acting itself, or maybe that's the voice actor's first few gigs, right? So they don't really got the experience to really voice a character well. Or it's from some old ass show where everything in it is kind of shit because it was the first of its kind. I actually got some examples for you right here. So with that out of the way, I want to talk about some examples of good English dubbing and what I consider not so good English dubbing. 3 good dubs would be Yu Yu Hakusho, Bobobo, and Ear Gear. These are dubs that I would consider like classic. Like, this is as good as English dubbing is gonna get. This is the type of dub where I can easily watch dub over sub for these shows because the voice acting is just is as good as the Japanese voice acting. So a few bad dubs that I've found were Familiar of Zero, Parasite, and I'll just go ahead and say the whole genre of, say, moe shows and slice life and stuff like that. It's really hard to like, it's so many examples, especially in genres like these, that I consider bad dubs. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put the whole genre in general there. I don't know, it's just so bad. Like, you can't watch it and really take it seriously. You just laugh at how bad it is. So I want to give 3 more examples because there is a middle ground. There's a lot of shows that I would consider mid-tier dubbing. They're not terrible, right? Like, say, the bad dubs, but it's just something about them where it's like, you could have did a bit better. So what I would consider mid-tier dubs would be Rent a Girlfriend, Classroom of the Elite, and Demon Slayer. Honestly, I gotta admit, I've definitely eased up on my distaste for English dub over the years, because finding truly bad dubs was the hardest part of researching everything for this video. I've noticed that a lot that I would have considered bad in the past is more mid or definitely good enough. Anyway, there's a big difference in performance in these shows, right? In the dubs for these shows. And I want to talk about some factors that make a dub good, bad, or mid. So as alluded before, the voices don't match the characters. This can be either an average voice on a not average character, or just putting a voice on a character that just doesn't fit the look and energy of said character at all. Many dubs do this, and it's just such a sin. Let's say you look like a soft-spoken guy who may have a higher than normal pitched voice, right? But the English version gave you way too much bass. Like, that's just not right. That ain't right. If you're supposed to be some kind of badass, right? Like really macho, you should have like a raspy or some kind of like really masculine voice. If you sound like some dweeb trying to sound cooler than he is, then it's just like, what the f? Think something like Sean James from Malibu's Most Wanted, but more dead ass.
Give me a rat poke or I will dust your ass!
So, starting off with the first bad dub.
I'm back! Hey, what's the matter?
It was a long trip and I'm filthy. I was just changing clothes.
You know...
Yes, what is it?
I don't know. Cheer up, okay? Nothing really. Just loosen up a little, will ya?
So, to be honest, the girl really didn't do too bad of a job. Hers I would consider a bit more mid because she could have did a little bit better. But according to my research of this series, bro's supposed to be 17 in the show. Why the f does he sound like he pushing 38? On top of that, this nigga sounds so unmotivated and reading the lines. He don't put nearly enough emotion in his voice. It doesn't match at all. And the voice acting on his part as well as some other characters is just whack as hell. Next one.
Hey, what the fuck? You got a fucking problem? I'll pound the living shit out of you, you dumbass freaky tourist. I'll knock your fucking head off.
I don't even have to point out this atrocity, but I wanted to add it because this shit had me bawling when I first heard it, yo. I heard this years ago. To this day, I still think about the way he pressed, bro.
You want more, huh? Say hi to people in Jersey for me.
Next one.
Okay, take out the trash, mow the lawn, pick up the house, paint the dog, fix my computer!
Be quiet, I just walked in the door.
You jerk! How can you just sit there and let your family leave like that?
Oh, what do you know? It's because I prefer stainless steel. My baby, my baby.
Honestly, I don't really think this example is kind of fair to the rest. The voice actors match the energy of what's going on, and the voice actors 1000% match the characters. But it's so uniquely chaotic, and if it's more of a chill genre, like, you're not gonna need a voice actor with a voice this golden. Next one.
I just told him you'd be here too, so it's fine. You're staying over to upgrade the phone wave, right?
Oh, well that was the plan, but I might have to take a rain check. It seems we've got a pudding thief running around. Halloween something or other, I really can't be bothered to remember it exactly.
It's Kyoma. Halloween Kyoma. Pay attention.
Oh, like you're such a superstar with names. At least mine is real.
Maybe I shouldn't spend the night.
I've seen some people say this one is pretty bad, but actually I think it's good. The voices are different from each other, which you know matters a lot too. There's a good amount of like inflections and pitch change or whatever, so what they're saying doesn't sound bland or flat. I like this one. That also goes to this next point though. Number 2, inaccurate portrayal of emotions. This one is the most jarring for me, yo. When it isn't done right, it makes me cringe. It makes me cringe. I shouldn't be cringing. I should be feeling what the character's feeling.
Don't worry about him. Boys are just stupid at that age.
Whatever, that's fine. I'm not really interested in Iki's business. Really? He and I are like brother and sister, you know? I mean, why should I care if he wants to hang out with some skank?
See, something like this, right? In this one, the inflections are well done. And you understand the tone. Like, under the sarcasm, she's pissed. Now, here's this bad one.
Excuse me, sir. You are not allowed to be on school property without a badge from the office. You need to come with me. Sir. Dear God! This is terrible! We need to get the students as far away from here as possible!
If I see a nigga get chopped up like that, I'm gonna be shitting bricks in halfway near the damn exit. My soul would have already left my body if I seen his head swivel like that. And why does he sound more unexpectedly inconvenient more than terrified? I mean, a lot of the characters sound just so unenthusiastic and nonchalant in this dub. Like, this ain't it.
Come on, Ringo, teach me some more. Pretty, please?
Yeah, I'm busy. Get some gonna do it. Well, a lover's quarrel. Shut up!
See, I mean, this dub is just so good. So yeah, I said earlier that just some genres in general, like moe, slice of life, there's so many dubs done not that great. See, they're not Parasite, but they just fall really flat. They don't really, I don't know, it's something about the voices that just doesn't really match up with the vibe of the character, and it sounds weird enough to be off-putting. Take the Shimonetta dub for example, right? This one is actually good. This is a good dub. The voices are good, they're unique, and they fit the characters. So I've seen a sub when it first came out, but I've watched the dub just to see how it was, right? To compare it for this video. And this one is good too. Again, it hits the same marks, right? The voices match the characters, they match the vibe, they're convincing. I don't know if I'll catch flack for this or not. I'm probably gonna catch flack in general, right? But I don't think the dub works well with Dragon Maid, honestly. I mean, some voices fit the characters, some of them are good fits, but others feel either oversold or undersold. There's enough mismatches to feel weird, but given the vibe and the genre, it's like I can understand how hard it is to really capture it well, so I don't want to bash it too much. So, Girls und Panzer, right? In my opinion, I don't find this one bad. I saw a lot of people share the sentiment though that the voice actors either don't fit or it's just like all over the place. That could be the case, and I think I only really don't mind because from what I've seen, only a few episodes, the voice actors use voices that are fine to listen to. Like it matches to me, and it sounds good given, you know, what the show is about and like what the characters seem like. The third point I wanted to make: well translated dialogue / phrasing. So what I mean by this is keeping the same phrasing and meaning from the original dialogue, but switching certain words and phrases to better suit dialogue from actual English speakers.
Guys just don't fight girls.
I'll fight with you.
You're messy. Are you serious?
She's a fighter and she's trying to get in our way. I don't care if she's a girl or a baby or somebody's grandmother. I'll still knock her out.
Golden moment right here. But see how the subtitles and the dub, right? They say the same thing, but the dub states it in a more flavorful manner. If anything, I think the dub is better in this situation than the sub, because it's like in the sub, why does he sound so formal? Ain't he supposed to be a delinquent? I also think it comes out much funnier and true to Yusuke's personality, which lets me enjoy it as an American, and it's not changed into something completely different. There's many more examples of this, but this is an obvious point, so I don't want to drag on it too long. Plus, I couldn't really find a dub that sticks too close to the direct translations. I'm sure many can vouch for me though. Just skim through some dubs and you'll see what I mean. Some just sound unnatural in the way they speak that it's off-putting. I do want to hit on something that I thought was kind of weird though. The weirdest opinion that I seen from sub fans were that voices and dubs were too American. Yeah, that's the point, because we're American. The dub is supposed to be in English, right? A language that Americans understand. The original voice actor can't speak it, so you're gonna have to need another voice that will fit the character just as well or well enough to do that. But in my opinion, it's not enough to just speak English for English dub. It's jarring to hear an American voice speaking how Japanese people speak. So I think it's better, in my opinion, if you take a bit of liberty to express the dialogue in a way more accurate to how Americans actually speak to each other. There has to be a balance though, right? You don't want to lean too much into like accurate communication because it can take away from the energy of the character and also make it sound just as unbelievable. So I can see how hard that is. You really got to find a balance with that. I can kind of see what they mean though. I think what it really comes down to is that Japanese generally sounds cooler than English does. I agree. I mean, I don't know what it is about it, but there's just something about say this. This sounds much cooler than this one.
Okay, bring it! Don't move.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it still gets the job done. The tone is there, but it just sounds better coming from the Japanese guy. That's just my opinion though. Let me also bring this up too. The Black Lagoon dub, I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
So, is this guy here the commander?
Yeah.
Wanna make a bet, Dutch? You know, the usual.
I mean, her voice is so damn good in this dub. I love it.
Well, I guess it can't be helped. Okay, Benny. Revy?
Good. I was sick of waiting.
Looks like playtime is officially over.
Okay.
I mean, you hearing this? She could put a spell on me real easy with that tone. I mean, god damn. Wait no longer, girl. Shit, show me what you working with. See, this is a show that's been in the backlog since like the first year I started anime. Honestly, since I heard this dub, it's like the next show I watch is definitely gonna be this one, and it's definitely gonna be in dub. I mean, she does really good as Revy. Honestly, I got sidetracked. Now, I don't know jack shit about the business side of anime, right? I don't know how they go about dubbing shows, but I do want to point out that some of, if not most of these problems, aren't even the voice actor's fault. It's the director that's watching over them. See, if they cared about the dub and whether it comes out good, then they would know that the points I mentioned earlier matter in making the dub good or not. And they would know if they were applied in the dubbing that they're in charge of. A lot of times this ain't the case, even in 2022. Based off what I've researched, dubbed anime has been a thing since the 70s. Japanese voice acting for anime skyrocketed in terms of quality since its start. It's so good that a majority of anime fans outside of Japan would rather listen to these shows in a language they don't even understand than their native ones. Mostly speaking English dubs here. I do want to give credit though, I always watch sub first, so I was honestly expecting dub to still be as bad as I remembered. But more often than not, I found recent dubs pretty good. There could be some things done better, but the quality definitely increased since I've last seen a dub. I feel like we still have quite a ways to go though, which is honestly kind of crazy because think about this. There's hundreds of cartoons made and or broadcasted in America, right? These cartoons have voice actors, and these voice actors know how to project unique voices to characters that fit. Their voices really embody what the character sounds like based off their appearance, and the way they read the lines are undoubtedly convincing. There's a crazy number of voice actors that do this for cartoons, so why are we still having an issue of pretty mid voice acting for anime? It just makes no sense to me because anime is like one of the most popular products over here. And it's making crazy bank, yet dubbing for anime is still not at the same level as dubbing for like cartoons and some shit. Even video games, like, but that's all I want to say that's coherent enough to be in this video. I want to know what y'all think though. I'd love to hear more opinions on this, so type your heart out in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Rigga. Thank you for listening though. This honestly was way more work than I wanted to do, but I really wanted to talk about this and I did enjoy making it, so it's fine. I also don't really have many IRL friends to talk anime with, so there you go. Anyway, enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'm gonna get out of here, and peace. I'll see y'all later.